Tonight on DC News Now at 5.
The threat of flooding and stronger storms continues as we head through the evening into the night tonight. We'll let you know how much it's expected to quiet down on your Friday.
Pipe problems in Northeast D.C., why local utility companies say they may need to send sewage into the Anacostia River.
And it's 4th and goal for the RFK site. The final committee report is out and neighbors are weighing in. We break down what's inside and what it means for the district's future.
And the Dragon Bravo fire in Arizona nearly tripled in size at the Grand Canyon. Containment drops as winds and dry conditions continue.
And Halloween fans are bringing the booze early and not the kind you drink. Summerween is trending, blending summer heat and spooky treats. We've got the meaning behind the craze, plus the frightfully good deals you can grab now.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
We're taking a live look at radar tonight as we track wind gusts in some places and strong storms moving through the DMV. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 5. I'm Tosin Vakile.
And I'm Mark Hall. It's a DMV First Warn Day. Right now, our region is under a severe thunderstorm watch. And we have team coverage tonight. Our Daniel Hamburg is on his way to Potomac, Maryland to check out the scene there. We're going to check back with him shortly.
But first, let's head over to meteorologist Damon Matson for a first look at those storms. And Damon joining us right here on the desk, coming over to talk to us about what we're seeing. Damon, a lot of activity. Radar super busy today.
Yeah, it's been an active afternoon, active evening time, no doubt, and we're still going to continue to see that as we move forward. So going to be a little bit of a tricky one out there, folks, depending on exactly where you are at. Now, again, parts of northern Virginia into southern Maryland, not too bad. Yes, we have had some rounds of rainfall, some heavier storms as well. But as you look off north of the city here, that's where most of the activity is, and things are not looking good in parts of Maryland and then over toward northern Virginia. We have these flash flood warnings that are up for parts of Fairfax and Montgomery counties into the district a little bit here. They go up until about the 7 o'clock hour. 2.5 to 3.5 inches of rain have already fallen in the Potomac area, down to Cabin John, back over to Silver Spring. We're hearing multiple reports of roads closed and those stream and creek levels on the rise. So overall, the rain is wrapped up for now in these areas, but flooding is ongoing and there's more heavy rain on the way. So additional issues are likely, unfortunately. Now, we also have this cluster of extremely heavy rainfall. One stronger storm just moved out of the Frederick area, but look at this heavy rain that has not stopped across the Mount Airy area, back over toward Cooksville and Eldersburg. This flash flood warning goes until 7:30 p.m. This rides right along I-70 there in north central Maryland, and we've already seen 2 to 2.5 inches of rain fall, and there is going to be more given how much heavy rain is still out there. So by the end of this, we could see 3 to 4 inches of rain along that I-70 corridor, and flash flooding is likely ongoing in these areas as well. And then back out across northern Virginia, we have a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:30 p.m. through parts of Clark, Loudoun counties. This storm is going to continue into Loudoun County, and if it holds together down the line, there's the district and those active flash flood warnings in Montgomery County. So yes, we are not done this evening just yet, folks. We will have more updates on these active warnings, where the heaviest rain will continue to be over the next few hours, and when it may finally start to quiet down. That's all coming up in your full forecast here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. We're going to continue to monitor weather conditions across the DMV. To stay up to date, visit our website, dcnewsnow.com.
Right now, things are much calmer at Walter Reed Medical Center after police received a report of a possible active shooter on the campus in Bethesda.
That's certainly tense moments. Tosin, DC News Now's Kevon Dupree has the latest.
Yeah, police received a report that there may be a man on Walter Reed's campus in the parking garage with a real gun. Now, it turned out that that wasn't the case. People on the campus sheltered in place until they knew what exactly was going on.
I didn't go up into a panic and come down. I stayed pretty much down the whole time.
Bill Wilson is a volunteer at Walter Reed Medical Center. He was there Thursday when the alert came in that someone with a gun may have been roaming the area.
I didn't see any shooter, but there were just announcements.
Wilson and other volunteers were quickly escorted to a room to shelter in place.
It was really well organized and well-trained people. Didn't see a thing, but spent 10-20 minutes locked down in a conference room.
During that time, he had a single thought.
What a silly thing to do on a military base, you know? How far can you get in that situation?
Montgomery County police say that someone saw a man who looked like he had a rifle in the parking garage. It turned out the gun was a plastic training rifle. Everyone, including Wilson, got the all clear.
So everybody went thanked the guy who was guarding the door for us, and then we all went back to work.
The man with that fake rifle will not be facing any charges. Reporting in Bethesda, I'm Kevon Dupree, DC News Now.
Montgomery County police are investigating a stabbing in Gaithersburg. It happened early this morning on Lost Knife Circle, where they found a man stabbed. He was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. Police don't have a suspect in custody.
Well, remember this video from last year? It shows a street race between a Tesla Cybertruck and a Lamborghini in Fairfax, Virginia. Well, police arrested 2 people, and the driver of the Lamborghini was in court today. 37-year-old Carlos Montero was found guilty for failure to obey and reckless driving. Now, Montero will serve 5 days in jail, and will have to pay almost $1,000 in fines. The driver of the Tesla, Christian Camacho, is expected to be in court another day.
Airspace congestion and air traffic control staffing, the focus of conversation today as federal investigators probe the deadly January collision between a commercial plane and an Army helicopter.
Yeah, that collision killed 67 people. DC News Now's Raquel Martin has more from Capitol Hill.
Today, more witnesses came forward, drawing attention to Army helicopters. They say training in the highly congested airspace has long been a concern.
I don't like saying this.
This year's deadly mid-air collision outside of Reagan National Airport is a hard pill to swallow for retired Air Force officer turned helicopter medic Rick Dressler. He spends his days navigating that very airspace, but told federal regulators Thursday military choppers training there have him and other pilots on edge.
We are all very uncomfortable when those 2 units are operating.
It was among many revelations during day 2 of the National Transportation Safety Board's hearings, investigating the deadly crash between a passenger plane and a Black Hawk helicopter in January. In the airspace around DCA, Dressler says pilots rely heavily on their eyesight, and the night sky that night was no help.
Enormous challenges in a night environment.
One FAA representative admitted the highly congested airspace is complicated.
I will say that at a certain point, it's too much.
The Army has since suspended flights in the area. An air traffic control specialist contracted by the FAA says staffing shortages at the airport also played a role.
The administrative staff was my biggest concern.
He says his warnings were ignored for years.
And at one point I was told to quit bringing it up.
NTSB will continue public testimony Friday. NTSB will use the information from these hearings to complete its final report on the crash. Its release is expected next year. For now in Washington, Raquel Martin, back to you.
Today, Fairfax County supervisors met with fired federal workers in McLean to discuss challenges the region is facing. The focus was the impact of DOGE efforts on Northern Virginia workforce. Some of the people who met with them, James Walkinshaw and Jimmy Berman, met with the people. Walkinshaw is running for Virginia District 11 congressional seat in a special election to replace the late Jerry Connolly. Former federal workers say they had to leave their position so abruptly and couldn't arrange health care coverage. Others say the government wasted tens of thousands of dollars firing them after getting security clearances. Walkinshaw says Democrats must push back against the workforce cuts.
Do is stop what's taking place. So there's legislation in Congress today, the Delete DOGE Act, that would defund DOGE. There's legislation to reinstate federal employees who were fired because they were under probationary status.
Walkinshaw faces Republican challenger Stuart Whitson. That election is September 9th.
More uncertainty for Head Start. It's a program that is the lifeline for hundreds of thousands of families across the country. It's one of the oldest social programs in the country, starting back in the 1960s, and it finds early childhood education and family supports.
And DC News Now's Haley Milon has more from district child care providers on their concerns as the program's funding remains flat.
As you commute through the district and you see preschools, you see daycare centers, there's a good chance that they rely on Head Start funding to keep the doors open and the lights on. And I've been digging into the numbers here, and this fiscal year alone, programs here in DC are receiving more than $41 million in grant funding from Head Start. The funding staying flat is essentially a cut. Providers tell me that they're trying to keep up with operational costs and pay their employees living wages. These funds were appropriated back in 2022, and in April, the administration took aim at Head Start, firing half of its central workforce and all of its regional staff. It also froze funding, which sparked confusion and temporary childcare shutdowns. The Government Accountability Office found that that pause was illegal. And the legal issues don't stop there. 20 states are suing the administration over its order to not provide child care services for undocumented children. Immigration hasn't been a factor in the programming, so centers aren't clear on how to comply. Here in DC, programs like EduCare rely on millions of dollars a year from Head Start to provide care for children ages 5 and under. They eat, learn, and play, and Head Start targets 2 generations, also supporting their parents. Adam Bargan-Smith of EduCare tells me the program is vital.
There's decades worth of research that shows that children who participate in Head Start have better health outcomes, have better employment outcomes.
EduCare isn't even the largest provider using Head Start funding here in the district, and they serve 400 families each year. Now, this comes at a time when there are concerns over the Pay Equity Fund not doing enough to boost pay for employees in early child care. In Northwest DC, I'm Haley Milon, DC News Now.
Coming up on the news at 5.